Hi guys, it's Brad from Headbangers Podcast. Today we've got another episode of our 21 questions. We have Steve, who is a digital marketer at Metal Blade Records, and we have FAE, a returning guest who is from the Metalheads podcast. Another great episode. We get to talk about everything from embarrassing moments, deepest fears, cheeseless pizzas once again on my part, and what they like to eat. So yeah, we got to learn a lot of fun stuff for sure. Really hope you enjoy it. Again, don't forget to check us out on social media. It's everything's Headbangers Podcast except for Twitter, which is Headbangers Pod 1. Leave us a like and subscribe if you enjoy watching us. And if you are listening on a streaming service, give us a rating. Really does help in the algorithm. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Welcome back to the Headbangers Podcast, where your hosts, Nathan and Brad. Here today, we're joined by FAE and Steve. FAE is from the Metalheads podcast, and Steve is a digital marketer of Metal Blade. So, how are you guys doing to start off with?
All right.
Good. Thank you for having me back.
Pleasure. Let's roll into it.
Thank you for having me for once.
It's our pleasure, honestly. Excited to get into it and get into the juicy stuff. So, let's kick it off. So we like to start off the first half being like, who's most likely to, and you guys can converse amongst yourself to decide who you think would be the most likely to. So, first of all, who do you think is the most likely to get scared during a horror film?
Steve.
No questions, that's Steve.
Nah, I mean, I would have said myself as well, but then I really think about it, and I feel like the things that scare me are really dumb, like anything like traditional stuff is not gonna like wig me out, but then I'll watch some horror movie and I'll be like, oh my god, did you see that one wall that was like covered in icky stuff? Imagine that in your toes. Ugh. Yeah, there's no deeper fear for me than getting like gross stuff between your feet.
So what about what film have you watched that's
Grease.
like been the most ridiculous thing that you've got scared at that you can recall?
Trying to think. Oh, there was this movie called The Beach House, and like I guess the whole concept of the horror movie is that there's like this parasitic alien thing that's coming in, I think through like fog, but then also I think at one point this dude like got stung by a jellyfish, right, and then it turned him into like an alien zombie monster thing. And I was just like, man, jellyfish already suck enough. But then could you imagine, like, if a jellyfish could turn you into a zombie? I was like, yeah, fuck. And then I was in, like, this weird rabbit hole just thinking about how horrible jellyfish, like, as a concept are. It's just like, I really hate jellyfish. Ugh. The rest of the movie, I was like,
Sounds
fine,
excellent,
but...
personally.
I have a feeling I'm going to say this phrase a lot, but it's going to be, why am I friends with you?
Because of my amazing and wonderful various outlooks on things, right?
Yeah, fuck jellyfish.
I do that though. I watch a movie and like there'll just be like one intrusive thought that just pops in, and like I won't focus on the movie for like the entire rest of the runtime. And I'm like, oh, it's fucking ended. Like I'll watch one with my girlfriend and she'll just look at me and I'll just have like a blank stare and I'll be like, don't know what happened in there. I was like, there was like one bit that got me thinking about this, and it's like
I can see that.
I'm that exact same way, man. Yeah, I'll fixate on this one dumb thing and won't be able to mentally like move past it. If I could think of a more concrete example of something like that, yeah, I would drop it right now. But yeah, there will be things like that. I call them cut the shit moments in movies where it's like, hold on, cut the shit. That was no, back up. And I won't be able to get past that like as a mental block,
I had it recently. I rewatched the Harry Potter series and it got to the last bit, and like when like Voldemort thinks he killed like Harry Potter, I completely missed the rest of the ending, right? Because I was just thinking about how pissed you'd be if you were Voldemort. It's like you tried killing this kid 3 times. You know what I mean? Like 3 times in a row, he's fucking dodged that shit. Like, and it's like you'd be like, fucking again. As soon as he moves out of Hagrid's hands, you'd be like, is it me at this fucking point? Like,
yeah,
I just goes down midlife crisis.
There was I was watching some space movie couldn't even tell you what one it was exactly, but I was just thinking the whole time. I was like, in this entire movie, they haven't shown the toilets. And I was like, where are they going to the bathroom? And I don't know why, but that just bothered me. I was like, where are they taking dumps in space, man? Like, I don't. This is the question needs to be answered.
I think I was watching like
Just
The
watching.
Mandalorian and like a character went to the toilet and I was like, I really appreciate the attention to detail here. You know?
Like, yes,
Finally, realistic,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
To be fair, they've never shown it before in fucking Star Wars. You've never had like one scene of like a stormtrooper like just taking a dump or whatever. Like it's that Mandalorian episode, like the first one. It's like, oh yeah, there are toilets in Star Wars.
That's the first one to really bring it to the people, huh?
But
I
you
like
look at
that.
their outfits. Imagine how long it would take to take that outfit off when you go to the toilet.
Oh God. What a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta the Jedis have it all figured out, right? They just got a robe, you know.
They're
Yeah, just
practical.
like one
Yeah.
movement. All gone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Free.
The smarter Jedi's is like, you know what's going on under here? Nothing at all, dude. Not.
So, who is most likely to die first in the zombie apocalypse?
Oh, that's gonna be me, for sure. Yeah,
I would agree.
yeah. Any like minor inconvenience, you know,
Steve's a bit of a princess,
100%.
and
Yeah.
Feel that.
he's got a specific lifestyle that he's accustomed to.
Mm-hmm. And the thing
I-
is like you would think I'd be like killed by a zombie or something. It's probably gonna be FAE is the one who like shoots me, just from getting tired of me.
If I have
Yeah.
to, I'd get sick of your whinging so fucking fast. I would
Yeah.
shoot you in the damn head.
It's like a day into it, just be like, oh.
Brutal.
And
Yeah.
then I'd eat you.
Well, there you go. I mean,
Practical, you know?
yeah, at
mean,
least
You
I
know what
didn't
the
go
food
to waste.
situation's going to be.
Yeah,
He's 6'2". He's got a lot of meat. So
that's true. Yeah.
I'm thinking like practically. But yeah, it would be Steve first, 100%.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be useless, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm also a bit of a princess and, very picky of how I
Oh,
like
man.
things to be. I'd probably start off myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh man, if like how you celebrate your birthday is anything to go by, it's like he's like the queen. He has like multiple birthdays. Like you get a reminder. Like
And I miss
you get-
everybody else's birthday parties as well.
yeah. That's a fucking good point, actually. Like,
Wow.
no, but like he'll give you like a reminder like 3 weeks before, and he'll have like a birthday night out. But then he'll also have like a birthday day or something like that. There like one year where I feel like we went on a night out for his birthday 4 times in a row. I was like, wait a fucking minute, you're milking this shit, aren't you? So yeah, he's like the queen. Brad, no offense, but you would be kind of useless.
One of my
You
I
are very
accept
much
it.
a princess.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this concept, Bradley. My ex-girlfriend would call it her birthday week,
Yeah, literally. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
That's what
And
he
I'm
does.
and I'm like, well, you realize that there's a word in that sentence that implies what the birthday is, right? Like
It was a long
it's
day.
all good. Yeah, it's all right.
That took a while to come out.
Yeah. Bradley's playing it fast and loose with the definition of a day.
He always says as well. It's like it's my special day, like, in that voice as well.
Everything has to be
It's like-
perfect,
As long as you get to say that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that
Yeah,
week,
schedule
right? That's all
pass,
Yeah.
You'll know as a fellow marketer as well, got to
Mm.
schedule those person.
Yeah, it's all about maximizing that Outlook calendar. God help us.
So, who's most likely to cry during a sad movie?
Steve.
Yeah, 100%. Without a shadow of a doubt. Not even just a sad
Face
movie.
as hard as nails.
Oh,
No
dude,
face.
no. Nah. Like you could just put on like one of those like puppy adoption commercials, And I would just be like, oh my God, the puppies. They're just trying to get into a good home.
I will say this: if it's got kids in it, like a film, and it like something started, kids die or something, then I'm gone. Like I can't help it. But I feel like Steve cries it. I think more things affect him, like he did with animals and stuff. So I'd say Steve.
I'd agree with Steve in the animal situation. I think that always gets me
Mhm.
for sure. Not always. I mean, I've cried at some ridiculous films, but I'd say the animal ones do get me.
Oh yeah, if there's
Oh,
any
Molly
kind of
me.
like adorable animal that meets some sort of cruel fate, I'm just like, oh man, I don't know, dude, turn this off.
Well, I mean, when I watched I Am Legend and he kills his dog, that finished me.
Oh
I was in
yeah.
pieces. That was sad.
It's
That
like
was
the
really
opening to John Wick as well. That
yeah.
shit, I was there like, yeah,
Mm,
get those motherfuckers.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, when he were killing all of them, I was there like, justified, completely fucking justified. They killed a puppy, fuck them. Like,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think Coco were the one that made me cry the most, though. It was like
Oh
the end
yeah.
bit.
Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
Oh, have you not seen it? The ending,
Mm-mm.
Disney knew what they were doing. There's just like one bit that's like gets the waterworks going, and
Yeah.
at the very end of the film, that they just stick the knife in and just twist it. And it's like it just makes
Hmm.
you. I was weeping. I was falling like I
Is it a
think I,
Pixar thing?
yeah.
Oh,
Like
then yeah,
honestly,
for sure. Yeah.
mm.
if anyone wants to take a class in like making people cry, watch the end of Coco because like it's just a double-barreled like you started off. Here's like here you go. You'll be dehydrated by the end of it. Like,
Yeah, see, if you get me in the right mood and theoretically take me to a state where THC is legal, right? And put on something like Pokemon the movie, I might.
That I cried at that. That was I said that last time when I was speaking to the Bangers
My
guys.
guy.
I was like, it's my most guiltiest cry, but it cuts deep, man. It's got some deeper meaning behind that film, so it's
Yeah,
more than what it seems.
Wow.
memories. Yeah. So, yeah, that's me.
who's the one that's most likely to get themselves in an argument?
Steve.
Guilty again.
Hey, what will make you crack? We need to crack you.
Go
I
on.
mean, I just people on the internet enjoy saying stupid things to me on numerous occasions, and I used to work in video games for a really long time, and so I just developed a very thick skin for people talking shit on the internet.
Yeah, gamers are the worst. I mean, like, angry metal fan elitists and then gamer elitists like together are probably the most toxic.
Yeah.
I have to choose my words very carefully because I don't want to I will just say in a broad sense, yeah, I agree with you. Man, gamers can say some of the craziest shit you've ever heard. However, I will say this. I'll give them this. The best insult I ever received was from some pissed off gamer on Twitter. And he said, I don't have to take that shit from broke ass Zach De La Rocha. And I was just like, it's pretty good, dude. I was just like, damn, you know what, man? Like, all right, word. Like
Fair enough.
you got me. Yeah, fuck.
Oh shit.
That was pretty sick.
Okay, maybe the next question it'll be me.
Okay, we might get
I-
you with this one.
Go on then.
Who's most likely to laugh in a serious moment?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Now, you called it. When you call it, you get it.
I think it would be me. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah.
Steve's really like Steve's really good at being professional when he needs to be professional and being a fucking idiot when he can be a fucking idiot. And I am maybe not so great at that. So in really inappropriate times, and I'm like, I mustn't laugh at this. My brain's like, but that makes it funnier. So I
Give
just
me
can't help it.
give me a moment like the most, I guess, non-opportune moment to laugh that you've had in your life.
At my grandma's funeral,
Oh my God.
Oh, same granddad's funeral. That's
my
only because my brother said some wild shit though.
I can't remember what it was. I think like it was something so stupid, like someone farted or something. It was just completely silent. And my brain was just, emotional, right? And I just started bursting out laughing. And the look that my dad gave me, I was like, yeah, but
Technically
I
not
think
your
that,
fault.
no, but that, or at work when one of the kids falls over and I'm their teacher and I'm not meant to laugh, but I'm like,
Oh, that must be so hard. That
Oh
must
no,
be incredibly
a
hard.
kid falling or like getting hurt. No, this sounds bad, but a kid falling is hilarious. Like
It
it's
is.
it's like objectively, it's awful to say that, but it's the funniest shit because like they
I
fall
mean,
in slow motion.
yeah, and they're
Like
mostly indestructible anyway, you know?
Yeah.
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 plus, at like certain age, they've not learned how to like put their hands out. So like you see a kid fall, they'll just be like, poof. It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
As a mother,
Kids.
Fair, do you like laugh at your own kids first before you help them?
Depends.
Depends on how good the fall is, how comical the fall is.
If it's
One
my
of
own children, I know my first response is get up again. Come on, get up again. And then if they start crying, I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. But with other people's kids, I'm like, and I really have to hold it. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's terrible.
My
I know.
mom used to know. My mom used to just crack up like right in front of me and my brother, like all the time. Like, absolutely. The one thing I was gonna say too, when you were talking about the way that kids fall, they fall like drunk people.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
Where they
absolutely
just
do.
yeah, have like absolutely no concept of their limbs, like whatsoever. They're
Yeah.
just like
I remember like one of the funniest like memories I've got is when my brother like must have fallen for like 3 straight minutes, and it was like the
Where
funniest
did he
shit.
fall from and how is he still
He wanted
alive?
no, you know what? He was
Three
doing
straight
something,
minutes.
and I'm not even. He was doing something, and he like balancing, and like he kept going like that, like fucking moving about and almost stopping the fall, but like not enough to like not fall, almost fall in a different. And it just oh my, it must have been 3 minutes long, and he just fucking what like just fell on the floor. That's one of the funniest like memories I've got of my brother because it's just so fucking funny. Like it was just a slow build. You know, like, is it gonna happen? I wasn't gonna help him. And he just went. It's great. It was great.
I remember my friend's little brother fell off of the roof into a bush, like in front of their house. And all I remember was that he like cartwheeled like off the roof for some reason. And
Cartoon
he was
fall.
fine. That's like the funniest thing is that like we ran up, we're like, holy fuck, are you okay, Matthew? And he just got up like, I'm okay. And then he just ran off. I was just like, holy shit, dude.
Wow, he's indestructible, man.
Yeah, like I said, like the craziest things you'll see where you're like expecting to go over there and see his like poor little, you know, like head splayed open or some shit. You're like, oh my god, we're all about to die. Like, no, he was fine. He just got up like, I'm fine, and then just ran. It's like I was looking at him like, Matthew, you just fell off of the fucking house, dude. He's like, I know. And then he just like, kept going.
I think,
Yeah, dude, kids are fucking amazing, dude.
mate, I think the worst one I ever had was when I was like I used to live on like this proper steep hill, and like so I used to ride my bike down it because it was just fun. You could pick up some right speed down it, and there was a gate at the bottom of it, and like 9 out of 10 times it'd always be shut. But
Oh
there were like that
no.
one time I wasn't paying attention. And like I fucking pelted the shit out of this.
Oof.
Like I remember getting up being like, I couldn't fucking breathe or anything like that.
Oh
And
man.
like 10 minutes later, see my brother like come down and he's like, in just utter shock because I'm just like fucking laid on the floor, just like not being able to move or out.
Man,
And like he's there like, do you want me to go get mum? I was like, I just couldn't fucking breathe.
oof.
Oh,
I'm surprised you didn't crack your ribs. That's
Oh.
that's rough, man.
It's beyond me. It's beyond me. I think it's because I was a bit chubbier as a kid, so I had a bit more padding.
Oh.
So like, you know, like it saved me. Like, but like I reckon if I was built like I was now, that rib would have been splayed up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that sounds rough, man. Oof. I cringed. I cracked my ribs playing hockey with something similar like that. I got checked with a stick across my chest
Lord.
and then hit the back of the ice on my back. And the combined thing of those two things, hairline fractured my ribs. You just basically can't do anything for like 4 months except just like, you know, acknowledge that life sucks for that entire time. Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's the worst. I remember sneezing the first time after all that. Oh, holy shit, dude. And then just crying, being like, "Achoo, oh god."
Too much pain.
Yeah, like it was the worst.
What stresses Faye out the most, Steve?
What stresses Faye out the most? Uh, in a joking way, I would say calling her posh.
Yeah,
Uh,
even I've seen. Yeah, we've seen
yeah,
that.
yeah. And then I think realistically, I think Faye gets frustrated by people that lack empathy or consideration for others. Like, so when she has to like interact with people like that, I think it really, really, really like frustrates her and makes her upset because she's not like that.
Any examples of someone that's done that and you've got annoyed?
I know some, but I can't. I cannot say. It's,
Um, I mean, a recent example, there was a guy on Twitter yesterday, and I posted something about females in the metal community, and he was like, he was a troll, and I knew that, but
Mhm.
just he was so aggressive and just so inconsiderate and just misogynistic. And he was like, "Oh, send me a scan of your ovaries. You can't be a real female because females don't like metal. It's not in their nature." And he was just spouting all this bullshit, and I was like,
Who's
"Okay."
who says send me a scan of your ovaries
He
as
DM'd
a
me and he was like,
comeback?
he DM'd me and he wrote, "Woman, send me a scan of your ovaries." And I was like, "Excuse me? What the fuck?"
That
And
is
he went,
so
"You can't be a
strange.
real woman." And I was like, it's a blocked. Like I blocked him obviously, but I just yeah, I think Steve's spot on. Like people are just if people have opinions and that's fine. Just keep it to yourself. Just show respect to other people. That really fucks me off when people can't just be conscientious enough to think, okay, that's a ridiculous thing to say. That's just gonna cause offense. That pisses me off. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I think my like for one, what smooth brain guy says shit like that because it's like it's not even funny. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, at least like try to be like this is a joke, but it's like that's just not funny. Like,
And he did it for the whole day. It wasn't just a couple of comments. It was like my notifications were going for like 9, 10 hours straight with this fucking idiot commenting on all my stuff, DMing me, other women on Twitter as well. And it was just like, dude,
It's pathetic, isn't it, really?
yeah.
yeah, I always find like with shit like that, it's always like people that have just got nothing going on, and like it's just that negativity will just be like a glimmer of like, haha, I did it, I did something. And it's like, nah. Like I always like go by if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's my rule. Like that's what my mum used to tell me when I was like a kid. So I always
mm,
just do it now. I was like,
Yeah.
if you haven't got anything nice, just don't say
And
it.
if you have something critical or negative to say, at least formulate yourself in a way that you're not just going to be a twat. Like put it in a constructive way. Like use your brain to say something that maybe actually be helpful to this person instead of just being like aggressive and just rude. I just yeah, irritates
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. But on the topic of negativity, what band do you hate them? What do you think? What band do you think Steve hates the most?
hmm.
Ooh, see, Steve has such a broad taste in music. Like he's on Twitter, he's most known for like tech death and stuff, but he's into some really like obscure, like just a total broad range of stuff. That he hates. Ooh, I don't know. I don't think he's ever told me he hates a band because he's really open-minded with music, but I know maybe mm, that's so difficult.
Hmm.
Do you have one,
Yeah,
Steve?
I I don't think I've ever really like thought about it like that. I
No.
mean, I could say I could give you like a type of music I don't really care for a whole lot.
Yeah.
which is like bullshit, like super patriotic, like hell yeah, America music, like Kid Rock, Five Finger Death Punch. There's this other guy, Tom McDonald. He did some album called The Brave, and there's like a song on there that's basically like, when will white people stop being picked on, like shit like that. Yeah, like
Why would you hate that, Steve? Sounds great.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of that kind of shit. Like it's also like it's like a love-hate thing where I'll like go and seek it out and listen to it and be like, oh yeah, this is like the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. But yeah, there's some like new Kid Rock album that came out last year. And if you listen to it, it contains all of the worst songs you've ever heard in your entire life. It's pretty fucking terrible, dude.
I was gonna say that like Kid Rock is like the Sharknado of music, but then Sharknado is a great film, so I don't want to insult that masterpiece like that.
The Sharknado.
I'd rather watch Sharknado than listen to Kid Rock.
Me too.
100%.
He's like if a Sharknado
to be fair.
hit a Walmart and then a Circle K, but then also like your local car wash at the same fucking time in like rural America, and then landed like at an amphitheater and that somehow like put on a concert performance, just like all of those things in a blender, just then churned out with some dude who's gotten by for like, the better part of like almost 30 years on just being like, hell yeah, I love America and I like to smoke menthol cigarettes. I'm just like,
I'll see that in a review.
Yep.
So I don't know. Yeah, that if anything that I despise, it'd be that particular brand of crap.
Understandable.
Yeah, I think that I'm the same. I can't stand like any stuff like Five Finger Death Punch. It does just go straight through me. Like
Yeah.
at work, there's someone that's like a pretty big fan of him, which I understand he's a rock fan. But he cues it all the time, and like I'm always like having to be like biting my lip, being like, oh god, if I had the power to skip this.
Just throw on like a bunch of To the Grave and super hyped up like deathcore and
Cleanse.
Yeah.
Cleanse yourself of it.
Yeah. Just be like, oh, you can put on the most annoying like version of heavy metal. All right, I'll put on the most annoying version of death metal possible. Here you go.
Oh man, I've tried. Like we've got like a thing. We've got jukebox in the office, and I have to like really be smart with like one IQ, because if it sounds too like, if it gives it away, right? They instantly just remove it, and they're like, nah, you can't do
that happens
that.
to me as well.
Because I'm like the only one into that shit in the office, except for like one other person. So,
I didn't
like,
realize that you worked with cowards.
No, it's more that it's like there's not a lot of alternative people in my office that are people that are into metal. So like it's just like you've got to be very smart with what you pick. Otherwise, like, nope, we can't be listening to that. You can't be putting that on.
It's always interesting the like threshold between like a metalhead and then like a death metal person,
Oh yeah,
where it's like we can appreciate a lot of that stuff, but then you put on what they call Cookie Monster music, and and almost immediately they're like, oh yo, that's different. I don't
can't even understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
God. Is this Screamo?
Yeah.
Oh, that triggers me. That genuinely sends me west.
Sounds like Slipknot.
It's just like this. You're just like, all right, well,
I fucking quit. Take my P45.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I if someone says it's screamo or like that, it's just like there's like a metal nerd in the back of my head going, well, actually, like just constantly.
Yeah.
I was even saying the other day, like I just finished like writing lyrics to like the song that I'm doing, and like they were like, "What's the point? Because you're gonna be screaming, no one's gonna understand it anyway." I'm like,
"Oh god,
you've got to write lyrics."
Yeah. It was funny because like I was at the bar the other night, and this like actual topic came up. The bartender was like, yeah, there was this guy in here, and he was putting on like Slayer and stuff on the jukebox, and he was like, how come there's not more girls in here? And I was like, well, maybe it's because you're putting fucking Slayer on the jukebox, the bartender says. And then he looks at me and he's like, well, you work in music, you get what I'm saying, right? And I was like, yeah, but I mean, I work for like the label that put out a bunch of those Slayer
I was gonna
records,
say, yeah.
So like, yeah,
Speaking to the wrong guy, man.
Yeah, it's just, I was like, I don't know. And he goes, oh, I was like, also, Cannibal Corpse. I was like, I know a lot of girls that listen to Cannibal Corpse. I was like, so to them, Slayer is like easy listening. You know what I mean? And his mind was like blown. He was just like, what the fuck? That's fucked. So
What would
yeah.
you say? What would you say is FAE's biggest fear?
That's a good one.
I don't know. I don't think I know that. I've never been in a situation where I needed to exploit that particular weakness. You know what I mean? She hasn't crossed me in that way where I needed that information yet.
What do you mean, yes?
What's your
Yes.
deepest fear, FAE?
Yes.
Tell me.
Yet. How rude. Ooh. My biggest fear. I mean, other than the obvious of like, sorry to be really morbid, but like losing a child or some of that shit. Like I would say my biggest fear is heights.
Yeah, I can
Like
attest to that.
just even looking down the stairs, like I can't. Like I have to, and I live on the second floor. It fucking sucks. So yeah, it's I would say heights.
Yeah, I mean, I once got stuck on my roof when I've lived back home, and bearing in mind the roof that I got stuck on, like it's like the outhouse bit, and it's like literally 6 foot, so it's about as tall as I am now. And I got stuck up there, and I got scared, and I was up there for about 2 hours. So
Oh God. Oh.
You've never told me that. That's a story I've not heard from you.
yeah, probably for good reason, Nathan.
Yeah,
Don't give me a
well,
good street credit, does it?
I
And
always
now
thought
Steve
'cause she
knows
was.
my weakness.
Yeah, he's
No,
gonna find
I
the
always
tallest
thought that.
building.
Well, I'm scared of heights too, but I always thought because you're better with airplanes than me, that you're not scared of heights.
Yeah, I'm okay on airplanes, to be fair. I think it's when I
I am
don't feel
too.
safe.
I think the thing is, I don't mind flying, and it's because if I like fall off a roof, that's gonna hurt. Like fuck, it's not. You might not die. You might just be like a vegetable for the rest of your life. If the plane crashes, like you're dead.
Yeah.
And that gives me some kind of inner peace when I'm flying because it's like I'm great here, and if it falls, I'm dead. And what's the point? There's nothing you can do about it.
Like, well, this is
Oh, no,
life now.
I'm
We're going down.
terrified. I
Yeah.
am terrified of planes.
Yeah, he had to hold my
Like
hand when
when we
we
flew to
flew.
Budapest last year. Yeah, like
Oh,
he was like, no, he said you can hold my hand if you need, and like I think he meant it in a joking sense.
Yeah, I
Soon as
didn't
we took
expect him
off, I
to
was like,
actually
"Give me
do
that
it.
fucking hand!" I hate him. I can't stand it. It just makes me nervous. And like the flight back, we hit turbulence. I was like, "Is it meant to do that? But is it meant to do this like
I
this?"
turn around to like, ooh, not good that turbulence, Neff.
No, I hate it. When you were like really like getting into my head as well before the flight, that wasn't really helping at all. Like they're like, "Oh yeah, and the only like it rarely happens, and if like there's been like a plane crash like 20 years ago. It's like what if this
that's
is
meant
the
to be a
time?
comforting
Like,
statement.
no, it's not. It's not comforting at all. It's like
Yeah.
being like, oh, so he's like getting in a car and then they go, I haven't crashed my car in 20 years. And you're like, well, there could be a fucking day where it happens then.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'd be like, hey, well, no,
Good
I'll
track
keep
record.
it.
I've got a fun one for you guys. If there was going to be a movie made about both of your lives, who do you think would play the other one? Like what actor or actress? Doesn't have to be like looks wise, could be like personality or personality and looks, whatever you think. When we're the Bad the Bangers guys, obviously they picked Vin Diesel for Defo, which is amazing.
Yeah, I
So,
heard that.
so
That's genius. Who would play Steve? See, Steve is a multitude of different personalities. And I'm not saying he's like mentally ill, I mean it in a really nice way. Um, he's like, who would be a good actor? See, I'm rubbish with actors and like films and stuff. I'm not a film person, so I feel like my answer wouldn't be that great. Steve, who would play me? And then I get to think.
Tilda Swinton.
Oh,
I don't actually know who that is. What they been
is it
in?
the actor?
I'm trying to remember what I've seen her in.
It sounds familiar for sure.
Let's see. She was in Suspiria, Doctor Strange.
Oh,
I've
seen Doctor Strange.
Oh, is she the nurse in Doctor Strange?
No, she's the one who gives him his powers. The
I know who you're on about now.
the sorceress. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who you're on about now.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
Is it because she's quite posh?
Nailed
Steve,
it. There you go.
shut the fuck up.
I just think it's because she can pull off like a ton of looks, and then also her comedic timing is pretty great. So you need someone who's funny, but also, can switch it up and be very serious. So there you go.
Yeah,
That's
good choice. I see that.
I like that. And that's great. And now I have to think of one that's equally as good, and I can't.
Do you want someone with like a diverse acting range? If it's someone that can play a different personalities
Because
and
like I
stuff.
said, like Steve, when he's in business mode, like don't fuck with him. Like he's so like concentrated and professional, like it's insane. And then he's also the goofiest motherfucker I've ever met. And he's just like so it's someone who's just got all these characteristics into one. But I genuinely can't think of an actor that would do that. There's obviously some, but like I don't watch many films.
It's okay. We can give you a pass.
Yeah. Oh, Steve's just really good. I'm rubbish at this.
Steve, would you have someone that you'd get to play yourself?
Either Michael B. Jordan or Jonathan Majors, and then I would be like, I'm as buff as exactly both of those men. What a great pick.
We all would like to be
100%
Michael B. Jordan, to be fair. He's a god amongst men.
Yeah. He's my fitness goals. You know what I'm saying?
But isn't he really tiny?
Is he?
No.
He looks massive on TV.
No, Michael,
I meant like short.
yeah.
Like I know he's like
Here, let's see.
He's one actor that I actually do know. And
Nah, he's 6 feet.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little bit taller than him,
It's like
Jonathan Major though as well. What a machine of a man! Like, like in Creed, like
modest picks for yourself, Steve.
It's like Jesus Christ. Like...
Modest. That's Steve.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I look exactly when my shirt comes off. I look pretty much exactly like Jonathan Majors. I don't know what you guys are talking. It's like a 1-to-1. If you put us side by side, it'd be really difficult to tell
which one's which.
Yeah.
What would you say is both of your most embarrassing moments if you could pick for each other? If you know it.
No, I don't. I would have to have known FAE for like a couple of decades. I feel like to really know the sauce on that one.
Okay. You can pick for yourself, sir, because we're not missing out on this juicy one. That's for sure. And I'll give you guys a freebie on my part as well.
My most embarrassing moment. There was one time when I was like, I want to say 20 or so, and I had to move back in with my mom briefly, and there was somebody who was at the door with a package, but I was like sleeping in, and like someone came like super early to deliver me a package, so my mom was yelling for me to wake up, and so I got up And I was just like half awake and walked in the door, oh, whatever. Oh, package, cool. And the package girl was like laughing. And my mom was like, Steven. And she's pointing down, and my dong was hanging
Oh
out.
no, you're kidding me.
Yeah. So
Do you not
just
feel a
like,
cold breeze?
I don't know. I just got up. I was out of it. I just knew there was,
Oh boy, I was wondering where this would come.
yeah. And so I was just like, oh shit. And then just pulled my pants and grabbed the box. And I was like, cool, thank you. Have a nice day. And
Have
then
a nice day.
yeah, and just walked off. Like,
Well, he certainly had a day after that. Don't know about a good
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Everybody was laughing. Everyone was having a good laugh. I was glad my little brother wasn't there because he'd been roaring, dude. Yeah.
That is a good story.
See,
Yeah.
mine is of a similar kind of theme because
God, you guys never learn.
yeah, my dong was hanging out as well. It's terrible.
Gotcha.
No, I was at uni and I've been on a night out and I came home and I was so drunk. And I was like, right, I'm gonna go have a shower and I'm gonna go to bed. Had my shower, came out in my towel. Someone knocked on our door and I was fucked. I was so drunk. And then I just opened the door and my towel had fallen down and I didn't realize it. So I was just standing there and I was like, what to these people? And they were like, and it was some of my friends, thankfully. And I was just, I didn't even realize it. And then they talked to me. We had a full conversation. I shut the door and I looked down. I'm like, oh,
Oh.
fuck. And then the next day I had to go out with them. And like, I cancelled. I was like, oh, I'm so hungover. I can't. I'm going to be in bed all day. But in my head, I'm just like, they've seen me completely naked. Oh, fuck me. Like, oh, that was that, like, the cringe. And I think I avoided them for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Understandable. I mean,
And
do
it
you not
was,
feel the cold breeze again?
I was drunk. I was so drunk, and I
Oh,
went to
okay.
uni in Lincoln, so it's sort of, it's not north, but it wasn't warm, right? So I was just like, yeah, I was so drunk, and it's what tequila does to me. It does ridiculous things. So yeah, that was awful.
See, I've got like the diet version of that, to be fair, of your guys' stories. I had to do a presentation at uni, and my belt decided to break while I was presenting. I was always pretty nervous anyway, and my presentations never seemed to go well. So my pants basically fell down. But luckily, the underwear kept up, thankfully.
There you go.
At least you
And
decided
it
to.
wasn't my friends, it was just a room full of random people, from my uni lecture. So
Oh
could have been
God.
worse, but definitely could have been better.
At least you put underwear on. That's a
Exactly.
good thing.
Mm-hmm. That was the difference maker.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got one similar where my nuts almost fell out at a gig, like crowd surfing.
Wow.
That was not fun. Yeah, I managed to catch it just in time. Just in time. Like some Spider-Man reflexes came out of my head. Like it was just like I had some Spidey sense tingling. I was like ah, and then yeah,
That
managed to
wasn't
save
Spidey
it.
sense, that was your balls getting cold, mate.
Oh mate, no, it was the Dying Fetus gig in Manchester we went to, Brad.
Oh yeah.
It was like remember because I was wearing like the baggiest camo shorts ever, and then like I was also wearing really baggy underwear, and like the two as a combo was not a good mix. And then as I was getting picked up, I could feel the shorts riding up, and like I was like, uh-oh. And I
There we
was
go.
doing quick maths. I was like, they're gonna be out at any moment. So I had to quickly just like just try to stop them. They did, but yeah, that's
I did
my
the quick
symbol.
maths.
Yeah, I was just there like, all right, it's past. It's like quarter up my thigh now. There's no chance like any further, and
Just
it's
the
gonna be.
equations going over your heads.
Yeah, that was like one of the most embarrassing one, just because I knew what was about to happen. Like no one else knew. Do you know what I mean? Like I knew that if this happens, this is going to be horrific, and that's why I don't crowd surf. Any just in case.
Yeah, no
Like,
doubt.
yeah, it was a bad one. What is who is the funniest out of both of you? Would you say?
Hmm. That's a good one because I think like we crack each other up so much. Like I think we have a very similar sense of humor.
You guys can go
Um,
with the generous option or the selfish option here.
what do you think, Steve?
Everything I always say is just 100% facts and serious all the time. So I don't,
I
you
don't know
know
about
what I
this
mean?
jerking business that people keep saying.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah, serious Steve is serious. I think you know, I think we're both quite funny. Like, especially when we're together. Like when we're talking, we crack up a lot. We make each other laugh.
Sort of like
What
a
do you
I
joint funniness, a joint consciousness of humor.
There you go.
I think so.
yeah, I'd struggle as well, like between me and Brad,
I'm better
because
than
like
you.
no, 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 no. All right, now I'm saying me. Well, after you pulled that shit, I was gonna be very nice, right? But after you pulled that shit, I'm saying me.
There you go.
There was no
Yeah.
intention.
No, I think Brad's more better at cutting the silence. Like it'll be
Mm.
like dead silent, and then Brad will just say something. And you're like, why the fuck did you say that?
Yeah, I love
But it's
breaking the
like,
silence for sure. It's my
yeah,
favorite thing.
yeah. Whereas I'm better is like sort of just kind of like coming up with an extension on what someone else has said, like as a
Mm.
joke or something like that. But yeah, Brad's always better at cutting the silence than I am.
I would say FAE is not as often like intentionally trying to joke around, but like every now and again she'll say something that like cracks me up. Whereas I'm usually kind of being a goof ass like all the time. Uh but the problem is, I think Faye figured this out after a while. Uh I have a very deadpan delivery for like everything that I say, right? So I'm very infamous for being like, yeah, anyway, things are going great, aside from the whole woeful despair of my current situation. Other than that though, peachy.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah. So
I
I
think yeah, I
think
caught on to that, but I'm also super like British levels of sarcastic, and you're one of the only Americans I've ever met who actually gets it, and I don't have to explain it, which is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is golden points, to be fair.
yeah.
So, what would you say is Faye's guilty pleasure?
sweets, like a lot, like to the point where it's, like maybe like concerning, where it's like, I don't know, man, you might want to like see some sort of like group, you know, for people that have like a problem. You know what I mean?
Faye, can you
Keep
attest?
calling me fat.
Nah, not fat, just like a giant sweet tooth.
I mean, yeah, he's not wrong. Like Jaffa cakes are my life, and the one thing you can't buy in Denmark is Jaffa cakes. So my dad regularly sends me like parcels with Jaffa cakes in.
Mm.
And whenever I go to England, I leave half my suitcase empty and I tell people it's because I'm going to buy my kids presents. It's Jaffa cakes.
Faye, you're
So
gonna
yeah.
hate me even more than when I said I liked pumpkin spice, but I
No,
actually
no, no.
really
If
hate
you tell
Jaffa
me you don't
cakes.
like Jaffa cakes, I'm leaving.
I do not like Jaffa cakes. I don't care if it's the strawberry, if it's the orange. Just get that shit out of my face. Like, I do not like them.
No, the strawberry ones are fucking heinous. Like they should just get in the bin. The original orange ones, there is nothing better. You and your pumpkin, you're such a basic bitch. It's really funny.
I have my preferences. Bath bombs, pumpkin spice, but definitely no Jaffa cakes. They do not make it into my kitchen.
But
I
no,
can't believe you don't like them. I like it. They're a good. I don't think they're a biscuit,
Yeah, stupid
but
on the
like
fence biscuit cake thing. Doesn't even know what it wants to be.
on the fence biscuit cake thing.
Yeah.
That's their marketing strategy for the next campaign.
It basically is, to be honest.
But
It's just a
no,
debate.
Steve's right. Like I have a mad sweet tooth. Like yeah, it's true.
What would you say? Who would you say was Steve's childhood hero?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I feel like we've spoken about this, Steve, briefly.
A little bit.
No pressure.
It's okay. It's weird.
I remember us talking about it. I can't remember who it was. Tell me.
It was the guys who made Doom.
Yes.
Oh,
I
that's
should
really cool,
remember that.
actually.
That's quite
I
unique.
should remember that because my uncle was on the team that made Doom.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Steve must be your biggest fan.
Oh, wow.
Well,
He's like,
what's the next
Mr.
question?
The team that originally made Doom is just literally two guys. It's John Carmack and John Romero.
Yeah.
And I ended up working for Devolver for a while. And Mike Wilson was one of the marketing guys over at id Software. And so, yeah, I ended up over time getting to, like learn a lot from people that I really looked up to. So that's actually a really cool thing. But yeah, that was a big motivation for why I got into the games industry in the first place. Was these two young guys from Texas who were just teenagers and made what became like at the time the biggest fucking game in the world, and I was just like, I want to be like those guys. They're a couple of nerds. They made a video game and they have Lamborghinis and Ferraris. That's cool.
I mean, it's cool to have that because, like, it's a niche heroes to have. But at least, like, when you're a kid, and you're, my childhood hero was like Mario or something. It's like, at least it's something that you can achieve in a lifetime. So,
yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, I saw there was like this PC Game Magazine article that showed John Carmack and John Romero, and they both had Ferraris. They're in the parking lot of like id Software or Soft Disk, I think, at the time. And I was just, I don't know, that blew my little child brain. I was like, what? Like, you can make money from video games?
I love that.
Yeah, I've got a fun. Well, it's not as fun, but I've got a fun fact about Doom. When you do because I work in IT, when you do like a course called A plus, which is like covers everything about IT, you learn about the port number 666, and it's because it's the Doom port. Like,
That's cool.
mate, it's mental. Like, because there's like ports like important shit, and then like they'd registered the port 666. It's like that specifically for Doom. It's really cool.
That's so cool.
Doom changed technology. It changed, just so many things that like Doom had a ripple effect on in the games industry at large. Was just like this thing that really changed my life. Like Doom is still to this day my favorite video game of all time, and I count myself very fortunate to have worked among some of the most brilliant people in the games industry in that regard.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome you got to meet your childhood heroes.
Yeah, and then the funny thing is you end up meeting these guys and you're like, oh, they're just a couple of dorks. Like it's like this thing where it's like so much less pressure, it's like, oh, cool, like they're just nerds like me. Dudes. Yeah, totally.
That's great.
John Carmack did this tweet the other day that I think really sums him up, like, and what his personality is like. And he was like, I at one point tried to listen to audiobooks at 2 times the speed, but found this unpleasurable. So I started listening to them at 1.1 the speed and then increasing the increment every time I would listen to a new book until I got to 1.9. Now I can listen to 2x the speed and I don't find it unpleasant at all. He's like, what an incredible gain of time. And I was just like, everything is like about optimization.
Yeah.
Like even listening to an audiobook, he was like, dude, I figured out the algorithm for how to listen to an audiobook even faster. Now I can listen to audiobooks twice as fast as ever. Figured it out. I was just like, damn, dude, like I will never be as smart as this guy.
I love that. So
Yeah.
I've got one last question for you both. What would each of your last meal be? And try and pick for each other. If not, you can pick for yourself.
See, all Steve ever talks about is Mexican food. And I know he eats a lot of stuff and he's good at cooking, but all I ever like when I'm talking to him and he's making food, he's either making a sandwich or he's making tacos.
I could kill a taco right now.
Like proper tacos. Like he has a special way, like he has a special way of making his tacos that's authentic according to him. But I don't know what his last meal would be. I think mine's quite easy, Steve. Just saying. Considering what you just said about me, it's quite easy.
Yeah, I was just assuming it'd be some type of like extravagant cake or something like that, you know. Like a Gordon Ramsay level cake, you know.
I think so. I think it would be tiramisu because that's like my favorite food.
I completely agree. So we agree on something fair when it comes to delicacies. I think tiramisu is a god amongst desserts. It is the best.
Tiramisu, I love it, and it's never something you make at home. I've never made it myself. I don't know anyone who makes their own. Like it's always something you eat out, like somewhere. It's so good. So, but I feel like Steve. I don't know. Like Steve's just always. He's always eating. Like when I'm talking to him on the phone or whatever, he's always like crunching in my ear or chewing something or burping. Like that's the main theme.
Definitely one of the three.
Right? And he's such a gentleman. But he's always like when he's making food, every time he's either making a sandwich or he's making tacos. But I don't know if that would be his last meal. What would your last meal be, Steve?
It's a toss up. Either a New York strip steak, medium rare.
Nice.
You know, nice char on there. Or a double from In-N-Out Hamburger. Because it's the one thing that always reminds me of home. And actually be a double with animal style fries and a lemon up, which is lemonade and 7-Up mixed together. And it's delicious.
Can I ask you what animal style fries are?
Yeah,
animal style fries. In-N-Out Hamburgers like this like regional chain to the southwest of the United States. And more accurately, like the largest saturation of them are in Southern California. And so I don't know, their whole thing is that no location owns a freezer at all, so nothing is ever frozen. All the meat and the produce and everything that goes in there is fresh and bought daily. And over time they got like this hipster hyped kind of reputation as being like the best hamburger ever in the history of hamburger. And I don't think they're all that, but in my opinion, they're really, really, really like great fast food hamburger, and the price is really good. I think it's like still to this day like $3.25 to get like a double cheeseburger.
That sounds cheap.
Yeah. And so that's like cheaper than a fucking Big Mac, which tastes like crap and is horrible. And definitely is using like frozen ingredients and all this. You're getting some McDonald's slander in here. And so anyway, In-N-Out, they have these French fries, and that they're fresh cut every day, and then they'll take 2 slices of American cheese, and then a bunch of like special sauce, which is basically just ketchup, onions, mustard, and mayonnaise and relish all mixed together. And then they just melt that cheese up and pour that sauce all over the fries and toast it real quick and then give it to you with a fork. And then you eat through it like some kind of fat American heathen. And what they should do is give you a shame blanket that you can put over your head while you eat all of that.
Okay. Yeah, I should have said
Solid choice.
I should have said steak as well. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
See,
can't be a good steak.
he has sensible options. He has like actual meals. I'm just like, give me cake. Like if I'm dying, I want to eat cake.
I don't know. Tiramisu was a very strong choice as well. I
I
think.
wouldn't eat cutlery. I just bury my face in it. Like fuck it. I'm dead soon.
Oh, same.
I'm just gonna motorboat this cake. It's gonna be great.
No, I'll go through the week and just do my day to day, and I'll sometimes just think about tiramisu. I'll just pop in like an intrusive thought, and I'll just need to get it.
You'll be days where you'll be
Tiramisu
like,
time, baby.
yeah.
I hope to God like Brad's like the request for the last meal is not pizza, because if they put cheese on that motherfucker, he's dying and angry.
There'll be tables thrown for sure.
I remember you saying this last time.
I don't care what people say. It's great.
No, every time we order food, I wait until his arrives, because I'm like, if he's got a fucking pizza, it's like there's a small chance that it's got cheese on it, and I'm there like, well, I guess you got nothing else to do but give it to you, buddy.
I make sure I take every step to ensure it does not happen now. I'm like, do not put cheese on this pizza. I'm allergic. I'm like, capital letters. So if they do, I'm like, I told you guys. I was very clear.
He's not allergic. He just doesn't like cheese.
Yeah, I just don't like cheese. But I have to say that so they take me seriously. Because they won't otherwise.
Otherwise, they're like, why the fuck are you ordering pizza? There's so many other takeaways that don't have cheese.
Yeah, I had a full-blown argument with fucking Pizza Hut because they just didn't understand why I didn't want the cheese. I'm like, guys, you fucking out of any takeaway chain, you guys are massive. Like, why do you care?
That's amazing. You had an argument. Wow.
I mean, I'll leave you with this. It's kind of funny because I feel like Pizza Hut is just so used to like getting bizarre orders that they would like here in the States, they'd be like, oh, whatever you want, man. And the reason that I know that is there's this dude that I watch on YouTube called King Cobra JFS. And there was this one time that some of his fans sent him a pizza from Papa John's, but all they ordered was just a blank pizza crust and mushrooms.
Oh.
So it was just crust, no sauce, no cheese, nothing, and then mushrooms. Yeah.
That's fucking gross.
And he opened it and he was just like, what is this?
What the fuck's happened?
I'd have demolished the mushrooms though. I fucking love mushrooms.
Oh, I'm allergic to mushrooms.
So here in the States, you could get your weird pizza however you want it, Bradley.
Okay, I'm moving to the States, man. Well, that sold me.
No questions. They'd be like, no cheese, yeah, whatever you want.
We got you. Cool. We got you.
Fuck it. Yeah. Want ranch instead of regular pizza sauce? You do whatever you want. Yeah.
You want one with no crust? We'll fucking do that as well.
Sure. Yeah.
This is toppings in a box.
Stuff the crust with another Pizza Hut franchise. Yeah, we got you, bro. We'll do it. Do whatever you want. Who cares?
But yeah, thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been great to learn more about you, and some fun stories, embarrassing stories, and obviously funny stories too. So yeah, it's been a pleasure meeting you, Steve, and obviously it's been a pleasure having you back. I'm sure it won't be the last for either of you. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us.
It's been great having you.
Yeah.
Pleasure. All right. Catch you guys later, and best of luck.